I graduated when I was 17 years old, and my parents had to sign so that I could enlist in the Navy. So I think 2 weeks after I graduated, I was in boot camp. And there was a bunch of guys that went to the boot camp from Hawaii, you know, and we all got separated. And another person, I don't know, Clyde Nakashima enlisted, and him and I went to the boot camp on the same day. So I kind of lost track of him over the years, but I've seen him every now and then, but I'm not really sure what he does now. But he retired as a CB. And I just did 8 years, and I decided I wanted to get out because I didn't want to wear a uniform. I didn't want to do shift work. And, you know, I wanted to let my hair grow out. So in high school, I had to, you know, cut my hair. In the military, I had to cut my hair, wear a uniform, and do shift work. So I got out, and then I ended up joining the police department. And I wore a uniform. I had to cut my hair, and I did shift work. So actually, I wanted to come back to Hawaii, but every time I asked for Hawaii, they sent me someplace else. Like I went to boot camp in California, I went down to Florida, Pensacola, Florida, I went up to Virginia, and then I ended up in Okinawa, Japan, which is good duty. And then the last year that I was in, I ended up in Adak, Alaska, which is in the Aleutian Islands. And if you look at the map and you look at Hawaii, if you go straight up and intersect with the Aleutian Islands, that's where Adak was. So I spent my last year there, and they asked me if I wanted to re-enlist, but I didn't want to not come home back to Hawaii anymore. So I wanted to come back home. No matter where you are in the world or how good a time you have, you always wanted to come back home. You know, you always miss Hawaii. I don't know if everybody feels like that, but that's how I felt. And since nobody was sending me back to Hawaii, I decided just to get out and come back to Hawaii. Yeah. When I got out, that was that was back in 1978. You know, after 8 years, I graduated in 1970. That's kind of dating myself. But I did a bunch of jobs. I did, you know, I rented cars. I worked at McDonald's. I worked in construction. I installed windows. I did carpet laying. I forget, but you know, whatever came up just to support my family. And eventually, I was unemployed. I went into the employment office, and they handed me this application form, and that was for the police department. And at the time, I was 120 pounds, and I didn't think I would qualify for it, but just to humor everybody, I just filled it out, and I sent it in. I had no intentions of, or I didn't even think about becoming a police officer. And then I got work, and then I was unemployed again, because, you know, when you work in construction, you feast or famine. So when I was unemployed, I got a call from the police department saying, if you want a job, show up Monday. And so I needed a job, and my intentions was not to make it a career, but it was a good career. So I stayed in for 25 years, and then I got out. I retired. So I retired in 2007, and I haven't looked back since. You know, I really haven't worked since. I mean, I do, you know, jobs, but I haven't had a steady job, because that career kind of set me up for a good retirement. So I'm just enjoying life now. Yeah.